All right. Hey guys, Brandon here. Just waiting for this to get downloaded. So I'm going to wait for everybody to join, and we'll get the show on the road once it downloads. It's a 4 GB update. So I'll be back and forth until it finishes downloading. Yeah, I'm surprised that it dropped this early. All right, so I guess while we're waiting for this to download, it's about halfway done. Just a quick mic check. Can you guys hear me fine? I got the mic about, I don't know, 7, 8 inches from my face. This is going to be my normal speaking voice, amount of volume. It might get a little bit louder during certain moments of aggravation, but overall, this is going to be pretty much what I sound like the whole time. Does it sound okay? I plan to stream Jeffrey until I either get bored, which I don't think I will, or I'm too tired to carry on. So I already planned to go as long as I can. I have a bunch of booze here to keep me going. That's my energy. Got some food. Don't have to worry about work. I took today and tomorrow off. So I'm just gonna casually play. I'm gonna take breaks here and there. It's not gonna be a continuous session. But I'm excited about this and I want to make the most of it. Uh, Debot. No, I'm not working on that Unreal thing any longer. That was just kind of a little experiment of mine to see what Unreal Engine could do and what kind of realistic railroad type stuff I could create with it. I have all the source code and all that if you'd like to get a copy. What's up, Connor? All right, we got about a little over a gig to go. It says it'll be done in 2 minutes, and then we can hop in and start playing. Yeah, I got Verizon FiOS 75 down, 75 up, so it's pretty quick. Yeah, Debot. So I'm the leader of a Facebook group called Northeast Corridor Simulator Development, and we've been planning for a couple of years now to develop the entire Northeast Corridor for Train Sim World once the editing tools are released. We're still in the planning stages of that. Obviously, we haven't started developing because the tools aren't out yet, but that is what we plan on doing. You can find links to that group in the description. All right, it's almost done. I'm gonna hop right in, and I'm not really gonna answer too many questions as I go. If there is a brief moment where I have to wait around for a while, I'll field some questions. But otherwise, I'm just gonna play, give my experience to you guys, and yeah, here we go. Just want to make sure that the game appears properly on the stream. So I took off the Steam overlay for a sec. All right, it looks like I'm in. Let me just sign in. And it's not here. Huh. Um, Let me restart the game. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm just gonna validate all the game files. Yeah, did you guys notice that? The root didn't show up. I'm just validating all my game files right now. Um, yeah, I have no idea what the hell happened there. But it downloaded the 4 GB update. I went into the game, and on the main menu where I go to choose the route, it still only had Rapid Transit, Great Western Express, and Heavy Haul. Hmm. It's almost done validating the files. It's at 65%. I'd be very disappointed in a 4 GB patch just being anything other than a new route. Yeah, that's just the validating. Alright, let's try it again. All the files checked out. Oh, come on. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Alright, guys, I guess this was a, a false alarm. To put it mildly. I don't know what to say. Any suggestions? I'm just telling the guys in Discord what's going on. Yeah, if you want, we can check out... Oh my god, I don't know what to say. Yeah, fine, we'll do the Leipzig thing. Actually, could I forget, can I spawn in a train there? Or should I just do the foot walking? Which Leipzig station is it? Which one is the underground one that has the new lighting? Alright, whatever, I'll just pick one of these really quick. Let's see if those changes took effect. Because nobody's getting back to me about which Leipzig station had the fixed lighting. Alright, this was the nice one. The one with the wood. Oh yeah. No, that looks good. Really shiny. Interesting. Okay, now I gotta figure out why Northeast Corridor is not showing up. Well, 5 p.m. GMT is still gonna be 24 minutes from now, so I might as well just keep the stream on. So I'm hearing on the Discord that apparently it might be 4 gigabytes of baked lighting. I'm not going to show my computer screen right now, but I'm going to go through the game files right now. Nope. The DLC did not drop. Shit, because I just checked the DLC folder. Okay, I'm gonna keep the live stream up anyway because it should be dropping within the next half hour. Officially, we thought it dropped early when we saw it start updating. So sorry for jumping the gun. All right, I'm just gonna leave the stream up, looking at my Steam library, and we'll see when it updates. I'll poke back around occasionally. You guys can feel free to stay if you like, or just come back in 20 minutes. All right, guys, a 2.3 gigabyte download just started. So we'll see if that's the root. I don't know. What's up, killers? Yeah, so about, I don't know, half hour ago, we had a 4 gigabyte patch drop. Turns out it wasn't the game. I mean, the downloadable content wasn't the game. Just a patch for the base game. And just now, just a couple moments ago, a 2.3 gigabyte download just started. So we'll see if that's the DLC. All right, let's see what this is. It's it, guys. It just went into the DLC folder. What's up, Tristan? It just finished downloading. Alright, here we are. Alright, guys. It's gonna be fun. Can everybody hear me okay? Amtrak ACS 64 Introduction. Alright, so we're at Newark Airport. This is an ACS 64 electric locomotive, also known as the Amtrak City Sprinter. It is used exclusively in the Northeast United States. Climb aboard to get started. And I cannot move. Enter the cab through the door in front of you. Still can't move. There we go. To begin powering the locomotive, first press battery button for at least 5 seconds. Next, head through the door to the right and down the corridor to the pantograph selector panel. We're gonna use the rear pantograph. That's what you're supposed to use. Oops, I gotta change it from kilometers. Shit. That would help, wouldn't it? Press the pantograph up button to connect it with the overhead wires. Alright, finally move the main circuit breaker into the closed position. To show that this locomotive is operational, set the headlights to bright and turn the ditch lights on. Use the reverser to set the direction of travel. Move the lever to the forward position. To get moving, set the automatic brake to the release position. Pull the red handle all the way toward you. Use the horn to notify others around that this locomotive is about to start moving. Do this with 2 short blasts. Usually you just use the bell, but whatever. Good work so far. Now apply power. Actually, wait, we're coasting. Okay. Alright, so we're heading east. And Amtrak doesn't normally go on this track. I've actually never seen Amtrak on this track before. Yeah, this is just a tutorial, man. I'm just following what the tutorial says. It's not gonna be a long tutorial. I'll turn on ATC and access later. To maintain a constant speed, set the master controller back to idle. To bring the locomotive to a gentle stop, move the automatic brake into the minimum application position. Medium approach. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. So it says. And that must be the end of the introduction. Nice work. Take this basic training and apply it to further operations, and you'll do great. So that's it. That's the introduction. One thing is for sure, I do not want to play the scenario that they showcased yesterday. Which was... what was the name of that one? City Sprinter? I do not want to do that one. I will do this one though, City Lights. Take the controls of a train at New Rochelle and operate it through to New York Penn Station. City Lights. So we're here in New Rochelle. Track 3 side, I believe. It says, welcome to New Rochelle. Today you'll be running a southbound, it's actually westbound, but whatever, service into New York. So I'm assuming this locomotive's already set up. Maybe. Set the reverser to forward. Circuit breaker's already closed. Alright, unlock doors. Now I will turn on access and ATC. Do they have the train type selector switch? I don't know if that's here. I wonder why it's chirping at me. Alright, let's do it. And the speed limit here is actually 45, not 30. But whatever. Alright, so we have a clear aspect on the ADU, maximum authorized speed of 30, but I've already said that it should be 45. That's fine. Everything else looks fine. There is a dead section up here once we get over by the distance signals for Manor. So what we're going to do for that, and there are no instructions for that here, but we will put the main circuit breaker open and put the throttle on idle. Alright, so now we're on the Hellgate line. We just passed through CP-216. Now the speed limit's 45 like it should be. Alright, these are the distance signals from Manor. So right once I pass here, I'm going to put the throttle into idle and turn on. We'll set the main circuit breaker to open. So we're coasting through a dead section right now. There's no voltage in the overhead catenary. If we try to draw power from the overhead catenary when there's no current going through it, no voltage going through it, it can cause explosions and shit. So right when we get to the east limits of Manor right here, you can see the signal right here, we'll turn the main circuit breaker back to closed. And we can begin applying throttle again, because now the catenary above us is energized. Alright, so they got the speed wrong here. The speed here is 100. The curve coming up right here is 70. Once you get past the curve here, the speed should go up to 80, because there are 3 undergrade bridges where the speed limit is 80. So the speed limit should have gone back up to 80 here, not 70. And the daylight just changed. I'll answer some questions later. I see one question in there, I'll answer it later. Alright, this is the correct speed limit for this area. And it does not drop down to 70. Up there. It actually stays 100 up until Pelham Bay, where it drops down to 45. So I don't know where they're getting their speed limits from, but it needs to be fixed. No, I don't live in this section. I live up in Rhode Island. Davisville, Interlochen. Alright, so I should begin my brake here at those signals. Alright, so I just threw it into suppression. That weird brake line glitch again. Alright, so that was a good brake. The speed limit here is not 70. Wait, I thought I released the brakes. I did release the brake. It's acting funky. Brakes released. Wow, that's a glitch with the throttle. Holy shit. Alright, that was weird. Yeah, the speed limit here is very, very wrong. It is 45, not 70. That is correct, though, up ahead. That curve is 60. Still all clear signals so far, no surprises at all. That was weird. Did you see that speed limit just change from 65 to 70? It just, like, moved. And they are right, it does go up to 70 again. But it does not go down to 65. This track stays, track number 1 stays at 70. So that's another thing they got wrong. This track stays 70 until the curve at that bridge where it goes down to 55, and it just showed 55 in the distance, and then it disappeared. This is really glitchy. One thing I'm noticing is that the alerter is not going off. The alerter should be going off. Alright, so this curve coming up here is not 65 on this track. It's 65 on the other track. It is not 65 on this track. But I will comply anyway. Yep, then it goes back up to 70. And then up here at this bridge, it goes down to 55. Yep, and they got that right. Good. Alright, so that was the first time that access kicked in with the braking curve. So what happened there was it calculated an alert curve. So you have an alert curve that's always calculated by the onboard computers. And what it does is it knows your speed at all times, and it knows the time that it will take for you to reach your next speed restriction. So it's always calculating an alert curve. Once you hit that alert curve, if you're going faster than the calculations, it's going to start beeping at you, like, hey, you got to start slowing down. So that's what I did. I exceeded that alert curve, so I had to start braking and then acknowledge it in order to not get a penalty application of the brakes. Speed limits here have been fine. Ooh, they finally put in that 40-mile-an-hour curve up there. Because in New York to New Haven, that was actually 60. Alright, so we're coming up to Oak Point Yard over here on the left, and we're going to go up on the approach to Hellgate. Speed limits here are just fine. They did fine for this little part. I don't like all the grass that appears on the tracks, though. That doesn't happen. Alright, so I gotta start braking for this curve up here, okay? A few more seconds. Should glide right into that bad boy. Throttle's screwing up again. Alright, so that's incorrect. After you get through this curve, the speed limit goes back up to 60. And then you have the 50-mile-an-hour curve up there. But it's showing that I have to stay at 40 all the way up to that next curve. Wait, now it just bumped me up to 60, but it didn't show it on the display. That's weird. And this curve right here is not 50. This is still 60. That curve at the peak up there is 50. This is not. Now you might be wondering why I'm handling the train a little bit slower than normal speed, because I'm trying to get used to how they designed everything. Alright, so this curve is 50. They got this correct. And right about where the main bridge section starts is where the curve ends, and we get to pick up to 60 again. Not all the way down there, but more like over here. Tony wants me to do a horn show when I approach the station. You can't use the horn in New York, then. Alright, so I should be getting back up to 60 right here. Not up there. Alright, so we got another one of those dead sections coming up that we saw around Manor once we got onto the Hellgate line. They didn't make any of the signage for it in the catenary, I don't think. I didn't notice any of the black DS in the signs in the catenary. But what we're going to do is, I know approximately where it is. Going to set the main circuit breaker to open, going to put the throttle on idle, and we're going to coast through it. Because you can't draw power from catenary that has no voltage flowing through it. And then that 55-mile-an-hour curve up there at the east limits of gate is correct. We have an oncoming service. Alright, yeah, I know. I went 1 mile an hour over. Jesus Christ, that thing was screaming at me. Shouldn't do that. It's gonna be interesting, though. I'm gonna be coasting through the dead section. Yeah, so even once I got the speed to where it needed to be, and I acknowledged it, this happened in Matt's live stream yesterday. So he was in the North River tunnels going into New York Penn, and I noticed that his cabs got dropped to restricting, and he complied. He got his speed below 20, And he acknowledged it and everything. I saw him acknowledging it. You can see it pop up on the right. And it just kept bitching at him. But yeah, we're still in the dead section right now. Once we get maybe to that second or third cat pole into the curve, that's where it ends. And then I'll turn the main circuit breaker back into the closed position. Right about here. Alright, so we're getting approach medium at the east limits of gate. My cab signal unit did not conform. It should be saying either approach medium or approach limited right now. It's still showing clear. So because of the non-conformity between my cab signals and the fixed wayside signals, the more restrictive aspect governs. So clear is less restrictive than approach medium, so I'm going to control the train with approach medium in mind, which puts me at a limit of 45 right now. But I need to be going 30 by the time I reach the next signal, which I know is the, what is it, the east limits of Harold interlocking. So I'm going to throw that bad boy into minimum, because there is a sharp decline right up here. The gradient does get very steep, as you can see, as we get into Harold interlocking. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that brake. And the signal up there is medium clear, so 30 miles an hour. Through the entire interlocking, and that's not normal. Harold interlocking, whoa, shit. Did you see that? The white flashing right there? That means clear to next interlocking. So that's assuming that cab signals have failed. And based on this not reacting at all to the fixed wayside signals, I'd certainly say that's the case. The cab signal apparatus has failed. So I'm still moving the train as if the signal's medium clear, because that's what the rule says. Alright, so now I'm getting a clear signal. So now I'll be able to go to the maximum speed of 60. But because I know the area, I know that I still have to switch tracks in order to get to line 2, unless they're sending me into Penn Station on line 4. So if I'm not switching tracks up here, then I know that I'm going to be taking line 4 into Penn Station, which is unusual. Usually Long Island Railroad uses line 4. Yeah, I didn't switch, so I'm going to be going into line 4. So I've gone through 2 clear signals in a row. I know that I'm not switching, so I'm going to get up to the maximum authorized speed of 60. And that is what it is for this area, 60. Alright, so we're leaving Harold interlocking, we're coming up on F interlocking. We're definitely on path to go into line 4 of the East River tunnels. These are the signals for F interlocking right here. In the right spots too. That looks really, really well done actually. You got the sub tracks down there that go to Sunnyside Yard. Still got a clear signal, no problems at all. We are going into line 4. here we go. We're going into the East River tunnels. Come on, you asshole! That's not how any of this works. That thing is not working right at all. I got down to limited speed, like it needs. I acknowledge it. It's supposed to go away as soon as I put the required amount of braking in, which is suppression. I put it into suppression. I acknowledge the reduction in speed. It should stop chirping right there, but it's not. That needs to be fixed. And that signal aspect is way fucked up. 2 of the lights on the top head were illuminated. Yeah, they need to do a lot of tweaking on this. And they screwed up the design of the tunnels, too. That's not a flat face on that wall. So the next signal is right up over here. Or it should be. Another one where the aspect is all screwed up. I don't know what aspect that is. Is it approach? Is it stop? Is it advance approach? It's not supposed to freak out on me either when I get a less restrictive aspect. It just spazzed out and I had to acknowledge it. Throttle's not working again. Now it picked up again. Another one where the aspect is messed up. Obviously that one's displaying clear. This is a mess, guys. This is really a mess. Alright, so we're in Manhattan now. Underneath, like, 2nd or 3rd Street, around there. Should be another signal. Yeah, I see it, but it's clear. It's still, the aspect is all screwed up. Alright, so we'll be coming into Penn Station shortly. That looks more like it, but that looks like restricting, but still 2 reds. There we go. That's accurate. My cabs got thrown down to restricting. But now my throttle is not working. That's totally cool that my cabs got thrown down to restricting. Because there's a 15-mile-an-hour limit up here and they want to make sure that it's enforced. But this throttle not responding is a big problem. You guys can hear me alright, right? Everything looks and sounds good? Alright, so we're coming into Penn Station now. A lot of the signals are still really screwed up. I don't see how this is acceptable. This should not have been released this way. Frame rate dipping down quite a bit, but that's to be expected. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was an Acela going by my house at 150 miles an hour. Wow, very low frame rate. But that's okay. Alright, so I guess I'm terminating the service here. And you cannot go upstairs. I just tried walking up there. Apparently they didn't model it up there either. Okay, so that was abysmal. I'm very disappointed with the signaling, and the throttle is all bugged out too. Let's try another scenario. Let's try to do something from New York Penn to Newark Airport. Actually, this might be good. The train wash. Yeah, because we haven't seen much of Sunnyside Yard yet at all. Yeah, this one should be a little bit different. Something we haven't seen yet before. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to be taking a train that terminates here at New York Penn. I'm going to take it through the train wash, and then bring it through the R switching center at Sunnyside Yard. So here's what it says. Welcome to New York Penn. Please take this train here on track 14, empty, back to Sunnyside Yard through the train washer. No problem. Gotta turn on ATC and access. That signal bugs the shit out of me. So I'm interested to see if they got the speed limits at loop correct and going through the train washer. Alright, so I got a stop signal right here. Oh, that's why. Because of that train over there, I think. Alright, so we're just gonna have to wait for... Alright, good. Now it just downgraded to restricting. Or upgraded, rather. Oh, throttle stuck again, guys. Go figure. There we go. So, one of the things about restricting is that you need to be aware of a bunch of things. Misaligned track, things fouling the track, stop signals, things like that. So one of the things I was looking out for is a stop signal. And sure enough, there was a stop signal. Is that another stop signal for me? Shit. Oh no, that's not me. I don't think. It's hard to see where you are on the track because you can't really see ahead of over the dash, you know? In real life, you can trust your cab signals, but in this game, you can't trust your cab signals. Alright, so we're going out line 1 of the East River tunnels. I know the signals in this tunnel pretty well. So hopefully that will help. Alright, another malformed signal, but I know it's meant to show clear. All of these seem to have the two... It looks like a stop signal, but then with another light lit up somewhere. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop beeping now. It needs to stop beeping now. I acknowledged the speed restriction. What's weird is, I put the throttle into idle. It shows as being in idle on the bottom right. Then I look down, then it shows that it's at 57% again. So the user interface is lying to me, the throttle's broken. And there was a missing signal back there too. Oh, now we're getting an approach signal. This train has lost its mind. This train has lost its mind. We just passed an approach signal. The cab signal stays approach medium, when it should now say approach, so now the cab signal's not conforming again. The brakes are going crazy. The throttle won't go to idle. No, I'm not a real train operator. No, I'm not an engineer. but I do know a lot about this area, and I have studied up on certain things. By no means an expert. Just passed another approach signal, even though it was malformed. Cabs are still showing approach medium. They should show approach with a speed of 30. It's not. So I'm going to control the train as if I'm under an approach signal. Alright, so we're almost underneath Long Island City. Have another approach signal coming up here, so we're doing fine. And signals are not that close together in this one, so they screwed up with the signal placement. That's ridiculous. Alright, now the signals are changing back to clear. Still malformed. That top part of the signal should only have green, not red and green. So we just passed a clear signal. The cab signals are not conforming. As usual. So as far as I'm concerned, this cab signal apparatus has failed. Alright, we're exiting the tunnel. We're in Long Island City, Queens, New York. So we're going to be taking one of the switches up here off to the left to go on the loop tracks. So I'm just past the restricting signal. Wow. My whole train just came to a complete stop for no reason. I only put a little bit of brake on to get to 20. That was bad, guys. That was really ugly. So anyway, as I'm saying, we're on line 1. It is going to switch us up here to get onto the loop tracks, because we're going to be going through the Sunnyside train washer. Now, alright, yeah, go away. The speed limit through the train washer is 3 miles an hour when we're getting washed, and as part of the scenario, we are getting washed. Let's see if it enforces that. I doubt it will. So because I'm in F interlocking right now, restricted speed in an interlocking is 15 miles per hour, not 20 like it says up here. It's 15. And that signal is something out of a horror movie. Guys, you're seeing what I'm saying, right? You gotta be shitting me. Alright, so we're going on to the loop tracks. They did route us correctly, so that's good news. Well, Jeff, if I did put the brakes into emergency, it was totally accidental. The throttle's broken again. So just a quick tip to you guys, when the throttle doesn't respond like that, you just gotta put it back into idle. And then it will start working again. Alright, so the speed limit here is correct. It is 15 miles an hour in real life. It is acting up again. Oh, this is getting frustrating. And that's weird, I just put the brakes into minimal application and the suppression light came on the ADU. Alright, so we just got an approach slow signal. We're already doing slow speed, so that's not a problem. Alright, so we are going through the train washer. The train washer is going to be operating. Oh, that actually looks really nice. That looks almost true to form. So we have to go 3 miles an hour. Man, the brakes are super touchy. What the heck is going on? It's like I don't have throttle anymore. The brakes are released. What is happening here? Wow, this is really... I don't know. Alright, so as I said, 3 miles an hour. It says, take it slow through the train wash. Water and high voltage power don't mix well. So it's not enforcing the 3 miles an hour that it says in the rules. So that's something they have to fix. Oh yeah, it is moving, those things. And you got the mist from the water. That actually looks alright. You got the little brush sounds too. Alright, another malformed signal at loop interlocking. I don't even know what that signal's trying to say. All it can say probably is restricting. Because if you got red on top, red on bottom is stop, yellow is restricting, and green would be medium clear, so it's got to be restricting. Are we switching tracks? No, we're not. If we're not switching tracks, then the speed limit should stay 15 on loop tracks 1 and 2. On loop track A, which is over there, that's 5. The speed limit certainly is not 5 on this loop track. Alright guys, I'm back. Game crashed. Just let me know when you guys can hear me and everything looks fine, then we'll get going again. I'll try something completely different. I'm not impressed with this so far. So what happens is, Jennyman says my voice is too loud. Just let me know when it's good. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, sorry. Yeah, one of my microphone volumes reset too. Not a big deal. Okay, I'm trying to think of what we should do now. Because I do not want to play that shitty scenario again, because the signals are all fucked up. Actually, the signals are fucked up in every scenario. And when you put the brakes on, it takes your throttle away, and then you have to manually move the throttle back to idle, and then it's not right. I should have full control of my throttle. It shouldn't automatically move my throttle back. I don't think. Let's walk around on foot. Or maybe do a service. Maybe a service will function better than a scenario. These scenarios seem to be a little bit screwy. Um, oh, there's Boston and Washington, D.C. Wow, look at how creative these scenarios are named, guys. Alright, so I'm just going to do an eastbound service starting at Newark Airport. Hopefully it doesn't crash like it did last time. What objective? The braking curve's already messed up, guys. I hate this DLC. Why does it look like the cab light is on? Oh, because it is on. Why was it on by default? I forget. Where's the cab light in this thing? There it is. Nah, TF. They didn't plan the signal failures. They just failed to design the signals properly. Like this right now, it should display clear, like it is. Everything's fine on this, except for the maximum authorized speed. We're nowhere near the 70-mile-an-hour curve at Hunter. So that should say 90 right now. It might come to that where I do have to turn the systems off, but let's get going. One sec, I'm gonna turn that thing off from the distance. I don't like that anymore. The game just crashed again, guys. I shit you not. I'm not kidding right now. What the fuck? It's terrible is what it is. Let's try one more time. We'll do a different service. If not, then I'm just gonna walk around. Believe me, guys, it's embarrassing as a streamer to have the game crash on the people watching. It just sucks. So even in this scenario, service rather, the braking curve is all fucked up. Oh yeah, they make the trailer look really nice. But then when you actually get to play it and experience it, it just doesn't work. Because they never showed us any of the cab signaling stuff during the trailers. Alright, it says wait another minute. That's fine, I'll just do a couple chugs of my beer. The most productive thing I'm doing this afternoon. It's my understanding that the ditch lights should automatically flash when the bell is sounded, I think. Or maybe it's when the horn sounded, the bell is activated, and then the ditch lights go to flashing. Braking curve is really, really screwed up right now. Yeah, it doesn't sound right to me either. The sounds. Alright, so we got absolutely no warning whatsoever that that signal up there is medium clear. I got multiple issues with that. One, on the platform, we should have gotten that indication in the cab. It should have said approach medium. And my second issue with that is that this switch here is 45 miles an hour. This is not a 30-mile-an-hour switch. So that's two things wrong, right off the bat. Oh yeah, I haven't played the horn much. I will be using the horn, though, coming into Newark, because that is one of the rules. You have to do one sound of the horn, and then use the bell coming into a New Jersey station. So yeah, I will play the horn in a minute. Alright, so we're in Hunter Interlocking right now. We're heading east. East on track number 2. Alright, so the signal at West Limits Cliff is approach medium, which is correct, assuming we're getting routed to that right track. The cab signal apparatus didn't respond at all to that. Neither did access. So that's another strike. The next signal is up here, and if I'm looking right, it should so... What is this? Oh yeah, medium clear. Okay, good. So if I'm right, I should be switching right here off to the left. Stay on track 2. Right here under this bridge, the speed limit should change to 35. If they did it right. Oh, good, they did. Alright, here comes the horn. Was that what you expected? Yeah, the signal progression there was nice. Except for the medium clear at Hunter. That should have been limited clear. Yeah, the cutoff from the horn was a bit bad. The tracks look nice, though. I like how they have the chunks of ballast sitting on top of some of the ties. Definitely did a nice job on the track modeling. I thought I just heard some kind of announcement. Anybody else catch that? A female voice. Yeah, you're correct. That should not be yellow. I've already pointed that out to the developers. That should be all capital letters. It should be kind of like a lime green. Stop at Secaucus? No, I'm not stopping at Secaucus. Nobody stops at Secaucus. Except New Jersey Transit. Throttle got stuck again. Notice how the braking curve is all screwed up again, just like in Matt's stream last night. It's stuck at 34. With a clear aspect, and on this track it should say 35. And right up here, right here is where it changes to 45. In real life, anyway. And no, I'm not stopping at Secaucus. Why is it going to be enforcing 30? Keep acknowledging and nothing is happening. So it's not 30 miles an hour here. It's 45 all the way through the curve. Yeah, I'm not playing the scenario. I'm just doing a regular service. On a normal day-to-day basis, they're not going to stop. Alright, so we're at Rhea interlocking. Oh, is that a cab speed? About fucking time I get a cab speed. I want to see how the game handles it. And the clear to next interlocking one is flashing. They don't have that programmed correctly. Yeah, I know, Jeff. Laughing and crying, I feel like doing both, but... Another cab speed signal. Let's see what it tells me to do. Nothing. Just 60. And that's what the maximum speed here is anyway. So we just passed through Hudson interlocking. We're coming up on Swift. Yeah, I'm not going to be stopping at Secaucus. I don't care what it says. I don't care if it boots me out of the scenario. I honestly don't know, Boston Gamer. I know that path goes through here, not on these tracks where I'm on right now, but below us, back where we were. Alright, so we're getting cab speed at Swift. We should have already gotten an upgrade to 90 miles an hour, but we haven't, and I pointed that out to them, that they put the 90 in the wrong place. This is all 90 mile an hour track, but they designed it as 60, which is wrong. So because of that, I'm not even going to bother speeding up to 90. I'm just going to hold 60 all the way through Portal. I'm not going to bother. Did that sound a little bit better? Yeah, if I had to hold for signal... If I had to hold for signal, I would have already been getting signals to slow me down and have me stop west of Erie. And I'm not getting that. So I'm just going right through it. I don't give a shit. So we're coming up here. This should upgrade to 90-mile-an-hour track right here. Any second now. Come on. About time. That took way too long. Alright, so I gotta sound the horn again before passing through Secaucus, and then I gotta have the bell going through the entire overbuild. Just one loud toot. Let's see if it makes me fail. Alright, cab speed again, but it's still not doing anything. They're just throwing cab speeds up for nothing. And cab speed shouldn't even be applied when the speed is above 80. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, we're coming up on Allied and Bergen, and then we're going to get into the tunnels. Whoa! I did see that I accidentally threw it into emergency there. It just like shot up really quick into emergency. That time I did pick up on it, Jeff. Accidental little slip. And it's still going, it was just still blaring at me. So this is one thing that they did get correct. Approach medium is a signal speed of 45, but when you get to the next signal, you have to be going 30. So it allows you to go 15 miles an hour above medium speed to get to the next signal, but you have to slow down to 30 when you get to the next signal. And the next signal isn't for another, like, 1.4 miles or something like that. CP mid. It's like kind of halfway into the tunnel. Alright, so this is the south tube of the North River Tunnel. That lighting up ahead bugs the shit out of me. And there's no curve like that here. Oh my god. Guys, this was done very badly. I think that goes without saying at this point, though. I think I just saw a service passing in the north, too. Alright, so if my memory serves me right, we should be coming up on CP mid. So I do want to start slowing down to 30. Yep, I do see CP mid up there, and it looks like it's restricting. What the fuck? again, a screwed up aspect. It looks like a stop with a yellow light on the bottom. That was approach. That looked like restricting to me, but okay, fine. I get to go faster if it's an approach. Throttle's broken again. So the signal aspects are all wrong. They don't conform to the ADU. The braking curves are all screwed up. I'm gonna have a lot of fixes to write up for these guys. They did a better job of making this area in North Jersey coastline for a train sim. Let's leave it at that. Alright, so we're coming into Penn Station. We're almost at A interlocking. That's another thing I noticed during Matt's live stream. There's no home signal at the end of the tunnel. It's not that signal, but there's no home signal at all for A interlocking. It's at the tunnel portal. I'll show you where the portal is. So right here, this is the tunnel portal right underneath 10th Avenue in Manhattan. There's supposed to be a signal like right there on the wall. There's not. It's just... Yeah, Jeff, you're probably not too far from the truth. That's another thing. If I'm going from restricting to approach medium in the cab, that's an upgrade in signals. So I shouldn't be getting that alert that I have to acknowledge it. And notice how the platform's not curved. Like, it's just a bunch of straight pieces connected together. It's not a nice, smooth curve. Alright, so after this, I'm gonna get out and actually walk around a bit. I haven't done any foot traffic stuff yet, really. Alright, so it still thinks that I'm meant to stop at Secaucus, which I blew by because there's no need to stop at Secaucus. We're gonna go for a little run, guys. Or like Jeffrey Rush says in Pirates of the Caribbean, "Gents, take a walk." I know that was kind of corny. Alright, I noticed somebody mentioned yesterday during the live stream that there is no third rail, and I can indeed confirm that there's no third rail. Let's see if they got any of the signals right. So this is line 1 of the East River Tunnel. Is there a flashlight, by the way? Can anybody answer that? I don't think the characters have a flashlight, do they? Oh, there's a headlamp. It says L headlamp. Oh, that's something, I guess. So anyway, like I was saying, that's line 1 of the East River Tunnels. That signal, I don't know the exact name of that signal, but you continue down here, there should be another signal before the portal. And there's not. So they're missing signals too. This is kind of spooky, like a horror game. There should be a place up here where you can climb onto the bench walls. When this was originally built, the, Whoa, do you hear that? Oh yeah, so I just got over here, and some ambient city sounds just started playing. You shouldn't be able to hear those from down here. There should be some places to, some footholds and handholds to climb up onto the wall. They put them in like every 100 feet. They being the designers of the tunnels. These tunnels are 110 years old. I think they were built in 1908. Again, there should be some place for me to get up onto these bench walls, but there's not. So I'm just gonna run. This might be the most fun part of the day so far, because I'm sick of critiquing all the signal issues. So from Manhattan, well, from Penn Station, all the way to the portals in Long Island City, how long is it? Something like 2.5 miles? I think it's 2.5 miles. Let's see how fast my character can do 2.5 miles. And then we'll explore. We'll run around Harold Interlocking and Sunnyside Yard. You can hear the city sounds above us. It's a bunch of taxi cabs beeping and stuff. So right now we're directly underneath, what is it? What street is it? 33rd Street or 31st Street? The tunnels right here run exactly underneath those streets. And if they got the curvature correct, right up here at the curve, milepost 1, so we've gone about a mile so far, just under a mile, if they did the curvature correct. But right around here is where the engineers dug the Manhattan First Avenue shaft. So we're right around First Avenue right now. So there's a shaft that they dug from the surface all the way down. I don't know how deep it goes. I think it might be, I don't know, like 70 feet or something like that. The Long Island City one I know is about that deep. And if I could get on the bench walls, and if they actually modeled the shafts, you could get to the surface of Manhattan via the staircases that go up to the shafts. The shafts are still operational for emergency personnel, so if there's a fire on a train or something, emergency responders would use the First Avenue shaft to get down here, or if it was on the other side of the tunnel, closer to Long Island City, they would use the Long Island City shaft to get down there. Whoa, can you hear the water? So right at about this point is where the tunnel goes underneath the East River, starts to go underneath the East River. We're right at the river bulkhead, I think. And so you got Manhattan that way, Long Island City this way. You can actually hear the seagull sounds. But that's really fucked up because you're, like, I don't know, at this point, maybe 75 feet below waterline, the waterline. So you shouldn't be able to hear shit. It should be echoey like a cave. So it doesn't look like they got the curvature correct. That curve felt like it went on a lot longer. It might be because I'm on foot, but the curve isn't very long. And it's a straightaway all the way to Long Island City. There's one last curve before you get to the tunnel portal, but from all the way into the river is a complete straightaway. So I'm gonna put something. Oh, so you can hear cars beeping now underneath the East River. I'm gonna put something heavy on my keyboard key, and I'm gonna go take a leak real quick. It's just a matter of finding something appropriate to put on this. Not my beer. Never mind, my beer worked. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So right now we're at pretty much the deepest part under the East River. It's about, I think, a little bit more than 80 feet below the mean water height. Something like that. And this is another thing I pointed out when operating through here. That signal and this signal should not be that close together. These are way too close together. Very misplaced. So what's going on is that I just did a service from Newark Airport to New York Penn. I purposely neglected to stop at Secaucus because it wanted me to stop at Secaucus, and that just doesn't happen. We don't stop at Secaucus. So I went by Secaucus, so it still thinks that I'm supposed to be stopping there. So now I'm running underneath the East River in the Line 1 tube, and I think I just got to the other side of the East River, so I'm in Long Island City, Queens, New York. And I'm going to run around Harold Interlocking, F Interlocking, maybe check out Hunters Point Avenue Station, and then go into Sunnyside Yard. I like to do this, a little bit of exploring, and then teach. I wasn't able to get onto the bench walls. I really wanted to get up on the bench walls. And there's no lighting whatsoever, but there should be. These lights should be activated. Alright, we're coming up on Long Island City. We just ran like 2¼ miles. I can't hear my footsteps anymore. There we go. That was weird. Alright. So that signal is in the right location. That signal's in the right location. That's the Montauk cutoff, which they're actually in the process of demolishing that entire structure. It's being decommissioned. Alright, so we're in F Interlocking right now, which is just west of Harold. Let's see if we can go around here and get up to Hunters Point Avenue. I hope they put an invisible wall. Maybe I could circumvent it? I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to get past that cap hole. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Do not want to climb the cutoff. Alright, so these are the sub tracks. I think these are subs 1 and 2. They go down into Sunnyside Yard, and then they reconnect over here with line number 2. This is line number 2 that goes into the East River Tunnel, and this is line number 4 that goes down into the East River Tunnel. So Chanman says that they just started taking down the Montauk cutoff last week. Yeah, so I was told by somebody that they were starting to demolish it. I knew that they had decommissioned it. Yeah, so this whole structure right here, as well as this part too, I believe. I think the whole thing is going away. Oh, come on. They put an invisible wall here. I can't get over to Hunters Point Avenue. Shit. Oh, come on. Asshole. It just kicked me right out because I got to a certain point. I'm gonna start a spawn walking service. Alright, so let's start at Sunnyside Yard and walk around a bit. So guys, don't think that this session has just been a big bitch fest. The scenery is really nice overall. I'm not really mad at all at the scenery. It looks nice. There's obviously some things that need to be changed. But whatever. Huh. This is weird. So this is queue interlocking. If you look on Google Earth, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going off of memory the wrong way. Isn't there supposed to be a bridge here that goes over? Let me pull up my Google Earth project. Give me a sec. Alright, you guys should be able to see that. It's going to be quite laggy, the project, because I got a lot of shit in here. I'm going to be adding a lot more too. Yeah, I'm right. So this is that building that we were just at, the Q Interlocking Tower. And you have a road right here, and then you have the IRT 7 line going right by it. Going right over it. You can't miss it, it's very obvious. So let me go back into here. So this is that Q interlocking tower that we saw, or what it's meant to be that. And there's no bridge here. There's no IRT 7 line, no nothing. That's huge. Alright. I also noticed during, when they were releasing those photos, before they released the route, that they didn't include the high-speed rail facility over at the R switching center. So let's go see if that's there now. I pointed it out to them. I don't know if they actually fixed it. So I think where I'm on right now, these are the engine tracks that go up to the North Runner, over by the R switching center, the hump track, and the high-speed rail facility. Now that building right there, I know that one is slated for demolition. Okay. So we got this bridge in there, that's fine. I forget which street that is, though. What the fuck? Alright, hump track. Oh good, they did put it in. I lost my bearings for a second. Yeah, so right over here, this is the R switching center. It doesn't quite look like the high-speed rail facility, but it's... At least they put something there now. Jesus. Yeah, the building looks nothing like that, but okay. Alright, they have an ECS-64 over here. Two of them, actually, coupled together. Yeah, so the high-speed rail facility building should actually start, like, right over here. They didn't make it long enough. It's only like a third of the length that it should be. So you got the North Runner. I believe that's the North Runner that goes around. The R switching center. And these go down to the loop tracks. No, I'm not doing train spotting. I'm exploring Sunnyside Yard and all that. Alright, so I will take the service around later. But right now I actually want to run through the actual yard itself. Oh, come on. It just booted me out. Alright, fine, I'll go back in. Let me crack open another beer. Need something to make me happy. Alright, so we determined so far that a lot of the signals are missing from this area. Actually, no, I didn't point that out to you guys yet, I'm sorry. We figured out that the bridge that goes across here that carries the IRT-7 line isn't here. About 2/3 of the high-speed rail facility is missing. Okay, they do have some signals here coming off of the yard tracks onto the leads. Whether they're in the right spots, I don't know. But I didn't see these the other day. Yesterday, in the live stream. So maybe they added them in, or maybe they were just so well hidden that I couldn't see them. Alright, yeah, Chanman, you seem to be pretty familiar with this area. Can you point out anything that I'm missing? That bridge that carries the IRT-7 line above, and then I think there's some car traffic that goes underneath that. It's a huge bridge structure that goes across the yard. So this is the end of Q. You got the individual yard tracks here. If you go over here this way, you come up to the ready track and the wheelhouse. So it looks like you can take services straight out of Sunnyside Yard and do what you please with them. I don't know if you can do the switches on the fly. Oh yeah, you can. You can do the switches on the fly. That's pretty neat. Alright, cool. It looks alright. Let's go up into Harold Interlocking. Alright, cool. So this is Harold Interlocking. If you do a Google search on this, a lot of shit's gonna pop up. So I think that's meant to represent the Harold Tower. The old Harold Tower. I don't know exactly where the old Harold Tower is. So that's the train washer right there. You have loop 1, loop 2. The west limits of loop interlocking right here for loops 1 and 2. And then you go down in there and it splits off onto loop A as well. So you have 3 loop tracks that go between the washing facility all the way around to the R switching center where I was before the scenario failed me. Alright, Chan, that's good to know too. There's some serious stuff missing. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to check. Did they get these signals right? There's a certain type of domino signal that is used around here at Harold. It's a different kind of aspect. It shows medium clear, limited clear. I mean, no, approach limited, limited clear through the interlocking. Fuck. Oh, here they are. Oh yeah, they did put them in. No shit. No fucking shit. That's awesome. I was not expecting them to make these. I honestly wasn't expecting them to make these. That is really, really awesome. So, if you're coming off of line 1, let me run down here. If you're leaving New York Penn and you're heading to Boston and you're going out through line 1, you're gonna come up to here. Alright? Once you... Oh, I gotta go a little bit further to show you. But you're going to come up here. From down there, rejoin right here. You're going to be going 45 miles an hour. I know they really messed up the speeds in trains from 2018 for this area, for New York to New Haven, but you're going to be coming over here at 45. So you're heading this way on this track at 45. You're going to keep going this way all the way to those two-headed dominoes. And those two-headed dominoes are going to display a different type of signal aspect than what's normal. You're not going to find it in the NORAC operating rules. It's pointed out in the Amtrak employee timetable. I can give you copies of what I made for that at another time. But anyway, it would show, like, here's how it would show. It would show a stop on top, so that bottom one would be lit and that bottom one would be lit. And then these two would be lit and flashing. So from here, to get over to the Hellgate line, if you're heading to Boston, you switch here at 45 miles an hour. This is a 45 mile an hour switch. And then you'd switch again right here, and that gets you onto Hellgate track 2. Anything other than switching to this track, if you're going on these tracks over here, you're going to be going to Long Island. So Long Island Railroad uses these to get to Woodside. So this is the heart of Harold Interlocking right here, pretty much. And for the most part, they did pretty good on the signals. I don't have them all memorized, like where they are, but for the most part, everything is looking good with the signal placement. And I'm very impressed they made those two-headed domino signals, because those are not typical. Right, so you're continuing east on the Hellgate line, track number 2. That far track out there is Hellgate line number 1. So when you're coming off Hellgate, heading into New York Penn, you're going to go down that hill right there, and then it merges you out on right there. All 45 mile an hour. Oh look, we got a service coming in now. So, normally for an Amtrak service, I know it's hard to see that signal, but it's clear. But normally for Amtrak services, they're going to switch you over one track left there to put you on line 2. Because Long Island Railroad typically uses lines 4 and 3, whereas Amtrak uses lines 1 and 2. We're gonna get up to the Hellgate Bridge. I'll run over there. I like exploring. Well, yeah, the track and Keystone Corridor Productions. Nice to see you. But yeah, the track inside New York Penn Station doesn't have third rail right now, and it's taken a lot of criticism so far. They should have included the third rail. So those tracks over there go to Long Island. Long Island Railroad uses those tracks. That sucks, you can't run down the hill. Not like I really wanted to go over there anyway. Yeah. They got Harold Interlocking pretty well. You can see the super elevation here. This is a 55 mile an hour curve just west of Gate. We'll be coming up to Gate Interlocking up here in a minute. Wow, it's really skipping when I turn my mouse. Holy shit. Yeah, the scenery looks pretty solid, man. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the scenery. It's just the simulation side of things that they really, really, really just... It's bad. That's why I'm doing this right now, because I couldn't stand dealing with that signaling system anymore. It's in that bad a shape. One thing, though, that I do have to criticize, but I'm not really mad about it, because it would kill frame rate. Look at those flickering shadows. But, what I was going to say was, there's no foot traffic. There's no cars. There's a lot of parked cars. There's no moving cars. And this is New York. This is Queens. Right near New York City. Oh, it's one of the boroughs of New York City. What the hell am I saying? So it should be fucking hustling and bustling. There is one section, actually two sections over 90 miles an hour, but you're never going to get past 90 there anyway. Whoa, I knew I heard something. And then I turned my mouse and the game just starts skipping. Alright, so we just entered gate interlocking. Just moving some stuff around. I think I said earlier that that curve is 55 miles an hour. That curve back there is 50. This is the one that's 55. So I'm sorry about that. I was getting sick of sitting, so I have a standing desk, so I just moved it up so I could stand up for a little bit. So, Helix, scenery is good. The scenery looks fine. There are some major things that are missing scenery-wise, but it's not a game breaker. The simulation side of things, the locomotive operates well. The ACS-64, by itself, it operates well. The signals are atrocious. They look nice, but they aren't programmed correctly at all. They're terrible. The cab signaling is terrible. The positive train control is terrible. Hey, what's up, Fred? I was wondering when I was going to see you around here. Alright, so this is a dead section in real life. There's no voltage flowing through the catenary. right around here. There should be some signs that tell you that there's a dead section. It's a black square that say DS on it in white lettering, and I haven't seen those up there at all. Just a realism thing. When you're operating through a dead section, you can set the main circuit breaker to open. Wow, the game just crashed, guys. That was the third crash of the afternoon. I was almost at Hellgate, so I'm going to go back in and spawn there. As I was saying, though, with dead sections. Main circuit breaker, open, throttle, idle, coast through it. Once you get through it, you can put the main circuit breaker closed again, and then apply throttle. Alright, so I'm back in. This game has crashed multiple times today. New route, new bugs, right? There is no button in the locomotive to open or close the doors. Those are in real life controlled by the conductor and assistant conductors in the individual cars. But for your convenience, you can hit tab and do the conductor's job in opening and closing the Amfleet doors. Alright, so I was on my way up here. Whoa. Alright, I couldn't hear my footsteps for a minute. They didn't put an effect, like a sound effect, on this gravel. But when I go over here, I can hear myself fine. Also, this isn't on the ground. That's not snapped to the ground. Not a huge deal, but... Got the river. Got the New York skyline. It's very, very hazy day. So much for being spring and clear. Extremely hazy. I don't know, Fred. I'm just going to stream as long as I feel like it. I'm getting kind of fed up with the way this is going. Alright, so I was on my way running up here anyway. So I'm just going to run down this way. I've been running on foot since New York Penn. I ran all the way through the East River tunnels into Long Island City. I'm going to have to do some runs without automatic train control or access because they just completely destroy the experience. And the signals are so fucked up that you're getting cab signal downgrades and all this shit when it's unwarranted. There's nothing going on. And there's no reason for it. So what I'll probably do is I'll start a service from Newark Airport. I'll turn off all the heads-up display elements. Oh, wow. Gives me a little bit of vertigo. And I'll follow the speed limits and how everything should be. But the thing is, the signals just don't display right. And the speed limits are just wrong. I gotta make a comprehensive list of what's wrong, because this is pretty bad. Chase, I've never heard of SEPTA. I don't know. I'm honestly not too sure why Scepter would lower the pantographs. When Amtrak goes through a dead section, all they got to do is put the main circuit breaker to open, and then put the throttle on idle. Whoa, did you hear that? Sounded like a turkey or something. And JG, you're not told to subscribe to New Haven to Boston for Train Sim 2018. It just says check it out. I think it does anyway. And I wouldn't say it's not even 3% done. I have all of the track done, all of the signals done. It's just decoration that we didn't get across to doing 100% of because the editor was just crashing too much. The environment's so dead. I feel like I'm running through a post-apocalyptic zombie type thing, kind of like The Walking Dead almost. A lot of floating gantries. That was a weird bird sound. And the game just crashed again. That's number 4, guys. I think I'm going to end the stream. Game's crashing a lot. Signals don't work right, so the train can't be controlled properly. Speed limits, a lot of them are incorrect, especially east of New York City. Yeah, I'm going to take a break, relax a little bit, clear my head, and then I'm going to start putting a list together of all the stuff I found. Sorry this couldn't be more enjoyable. I'm sure some person will find some way to enjoy the route, but for me it's borderline unplayable, and all the game crashes are just icing on the cake. So hit me up if you got some questions. Otherwise, I'll be in touch letting you know when I'm going to live stream next or if I put out some information. All right, guys, take care.